Hi guys, it is Friday. I am the only one in the room. Crystal and Heather went down to eat. We are packing. It's Crystal stuff, my bag right there, my bag, our stroller alley, and then Heather's stuff is on the floor. We are all exhausted. We had lots of fun. We are sad to leave each other, but we are all ready to go home. I think I'll be sleeping for the next 4 days straight. Crystal's, we're all going, excuse me. We're all going to the airport together, but Crystal's flight is the first one to leave. So, I'll have to say goodbye to her first, and then Heather and I'm the last one. Contemplated flying standby to go earlier, but my husband's coming to pick me up, and I don't want to try to get all that information to him, so I guess I'll just wait at the airport. Yesterday after I ended the vlog, I ended it at the mall, and we called the shuttle, and at the shuttle you have to go outside and wait under these weird looking awnings that, yeah, for being in Minnesota, the shuttle wait area just seems very minimal, and really something, they should have something better in place. Anyways, so we're waiting there. Well, first of all, we went to walk outside and it started raining a little bit. So we run over to where the awning-ish area is, and we're standing there and everything's fine, and all of a sudden it just downpours. And that was okay. I mean, we were getting a little wet, and all of a sudden the wind picked up, so it started raining sideways, and we were just soaked. So we try to run behind this small glass area to stay behind the rain, and we're just soaked. My shoes are still soaked. The sweater I was wearing is wet. It's in there. Crystal was hanging stuff around the room to dry out. And then it started raining the opposite direction, so then we ended up going and standing behind the other side of the rain shield, I guess is what you'd want to call it. And yeah, our babies were soaked. All three babies at this point are screaming, and we were just at the I don't care moments. Excuse me. Got something in my throat. And we just stood there letting them cry, wait till the shuttle, because I think it was Crystal's and my baby wanted a bottle, and because of the water, our putty wasn't sticking. So we were just like, screw it. And finally our shuttle came once it let up. And yeah, that was our monsoon. So I'm probably going to pick up back at the airport. Right now I currently have Oakley in the bag. I wanted to put her in there to make sure that she fit in the bag with some of the stuff I'm bringing back, to make sure everything else fit in my suitcase. My battery is blinking at me, so I will have to let you go here. I will see everybody in a bit. So the three of us are at the airport. We had some fun getting here. First of all, it started out with the shuttle, trying to cram all of us in the shuttle. It was the three of us, which our crap took up most of the back. Then there was another family of four who had less crap than us.
But they had a stroller too.
They had a huge stroller.
Yeah.
And then there was, what, 4 other people that needed to go to the mall. So they dropped the people off at the mall before us because we were taking up all the back space. So anyways, we get dropped off. We get all mixed around. We finally find our way. We go drop our bags at checked bags. Crystal has a little story about some dogs. So you'll have to check out her channel if you haven't already, about the dog story. And then, so we drop our bags, we get to security. And I didn't have an incident where the person was confused asking about where my baby's paperwork was this time. But we get through security. They send us over to the family line because we have the strollers. So we pack, we do everything, we put it in, and the person on the front end was kind of chuckling when he saw the dolls.
Yeah.
Well, I was the first one in line, so all of my stuff went through first. Well, the people before me, stroller gets stuck, so they get that unstuck. That was a holdup. Then all of a sudden they get to Oakley, and there is a lady sitting in the seat checking the x-ray. There's a guy standing behind her ready to take over for her.
Yeah.
And then there's the lady on the back side that has to check the stuff that gets flagged. And the lady and the guy that are standing by the x-ray machine both burst out laughing when they see it, trying to figure out what's going on. So then the third lady comes up and she's like, no, I know what this is. This is an electronic doll. This is like the ones they use at school. And the one guy is like, I have never seen a doll like this. Are you sure it's not a bomb in there? She's like, no, that's what's supposed to be there. And she's like, look, you can see the speaker.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what's this and this? And she's like, that would be sensors for it. They are very smart babies.
Yeah.
And the guy is just confused, so he lets it go. And then I look, the lady on the other side is still kind of chuckling. And Crystal's stuff is starting to come through, and Heather's stuff was behind Crystal's. And Crystal and I both yell back, there's 2 more coming. So the lady that's checking, because I had to have my backpack checked because of,
Andrew, yeah. Please return to your
Andrew's not very smart, because this is his second page.
It's the second time they've called this person.
So the lady is she's like, I need to check your backpack, and she's like, she had to check the wipes. So,
And I just have to say, that was really strange, because coming to Toronto, they were checking my wipes too, and then they checked her wipes, and it's really bizarre.
well, she even pulled them out and she opened up the thing, and she's like, these are brand new in package. So she just literally swabbed the plastic top and then handed them back to me before she even ran them.
Mine didn't even swab mine. She just looked in the pocket and she's like, oh, it's just wipes.
So then, anyways, they let Veda go through, and Crystal's standing by me because we both got through the scanners quickly. Heather got hung up in the scanners, so the lady kept apologizing to me about having to check my wipes. I'm like, no, that's okay, because I have to put her back in the bag. So I grab the bag, drop it on the table, flip it open, and literally drop Oakley in there. And the lady just looks at me and bursts out laughing. So then Veda comes through, they let Veda through, and Mateo comes through.
You know what? I thought I overheard the security when Mateo was going through. I thought I overheard them saying that there was something different about it.
Well,
Which I think maybe was the holdup.
it was.
Okay.
Because when she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, where's mommy? And I pointed, I'm like, she's back there. And obviously she realized the 3 of us were together. Mm-hmm. So she's like, we have to swab him because he's different. And then she points to the guy sitting in the chair, and she's like, he's convinced this one's a bomb. So she gently swabs Mateo, puts it in, and then she goes, I'm like, Mama's still stuck. And she's like, here, you can babysit, and handed me back Mateo. As I'm a bad mom and throw mine in a bag. And there was some more, like, we got a few looks walking through. Crystal has another story while we were waiting for Heather in the bathroom. But so far, that's all we've had in the airport. Heather may get a few more looks because, well, we're at Crystal's gate right now waiting for Crystal's flight, but Veda's there, Oakley's down here, and Mateo is right there.
We have to mention that when we got here and I decided, yeah, I guess I'll take Veda out to put her in the bin. I had her all packed underneath my new American Girl doll. So I grab underneath, I grab her feet, and I'm pulling her out by her.
Yeah, Crystal gave birth, breech, or maybe it was a C-section in the airport. So happy birthday, Veda. So I'll probably pick this back up after Crystal goes on her flight, and then Heather and I are here all day. Hi guys, I know this isn't the best lighting. I meant to end out my vlog at the airport yesterday, but I just didn't get it done. So Crystal was the first one to leave, and I know I vlogged what happened at security that time, or when we checked in. And then Heather and I went down and kind of waited in between our two gates, because my gate was actually in the same area as Crystal's, and Heather's was seriously on the other end of the airport. So we kind of found a midway point. Her and I got some lunch in the airport, and they just sat and kind of chatted till she had to go to get to her plane, and then I went back to wait in the area for my plane. And the ironic thing was her plane was supposed to leave a half hour before mine. And I literally got to my gate, and I have a text from her, and she's like, my plane has already been delayed. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm already at my gate. And she's like, yeah, I know. I think my plane took off before her plane, because she was like, oh, well, they're changing stuff now, as my plane was boarding. And her plane was oversold. And I think she texted, or she messaged the group, because her, Crystal, and I had a group chat. And she messaged it like a half an hour before my plane touched down. Her flight was only an hour. I think Crystal's was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And mine was 3 to 2 hours. And we ended up being like 2.5 hours, I think. Because they started out saying 2 hours, 11 minutes, and it was a little bit longer than that. So, anyways, the flight was actually good home. I had put Oakley back in her bag, and when I got to my gate, I had to go up. I got a piece of hair stuck in my hand now. I had to go up and ask the gate agent a question. And she's like, with the stroller, you can board early boarding when I call for strollers and car seats. I'm like, okay. And then she kind of looks down and she's like, where's the little one? And I'm like, I'm going home. And she goes, so you brought a stroller without a little one? And I'm like, I have a doll. It was a friend's weekend. We collect dolls, and we were just having fun as friends as a childless weekend. And she looks at me and she goes, dog? And I'm like, no, doll, D-O-L-L. And then she's like, oh, I don't judge. You can board early. And then started laughing. And then when she went to call to board that, there was another flight in my area that had been delayed, and the plane had just touched down. Their plane that they were supposed to take off on had just touched down, so that gate agent was doing an announcement to those people, and she looked over at me because she had just picked it up. She had just done pre-boarding for those that need extra time, and she was I know that after that comes car seats and strollers. So she looked at me and waved me over, so I was the first one on the plane, and I was so excited. So this is the same type of plane I flew in February. I believe it was going from Minneapolis to Fargo. It was the same plane. It was the same style, same number. So it was the same plane. Well, when I flew in February, I needed to ask for a seatbelt extender because I could not get my belt buckled. I tried a different seat even, and it wasn't just that one seat. It was the belts were too tight in that particular plane. The other 3 flights that trip, I was fine in, but they were different planes. And the other 3 flights were the same type of plane, and this was a different one with that 4th flight. So I had to use a seatbelt extender on that flight. So when I got to the airport in Austin, I had seen it was the same flight. Even though I'm lost weight, I'm like, well, you know, I'm going to ask for the extender. So the gate agent was very nice. She went down and actually put the extender on my seat before I even got on the plane. So that was what I went up to ask the gate agent for, or about when she told me to board early with the stroller. So I'm like, I got on the plane. I'm the first one on the plane, and I'm like, I know first class people are starting to come, but the rest of the people aren't really getting on with the first class people. So I'm like, you know what? I am going to try buckling the seatbelt first before I talk to a flight attendant. And not only could I get the seatbelt buckled, I got a good 3 to 4 inches of slack in that seatbelt. I was like practically crying on the plane because I was so happy and so excited, because it gets frustrating, and I know this stuff kind of can go into my my Be Strong videos, but I was so excited with this. And so yeah, that was my returning. When I got back, my kids were happy to see me. My husband was happy to see me. I was just exhausted. Today we all got a late start because I didn't get in by the time I got my bag and everything. It was after 9 o'clock. By the time we got home, because we still hadn't drive, and I hadn't eaten. The last time I'd eaten was with Heather in the airport at like 3, and this is now almost 10 o'clock. We didn't get home till like 10:30. You can hear Taffy. We didn't almost get home till 10:30, and we all went to bed late, so we got up late. So it's been a good day, and I will end this here, so I will see everyone later. Bye.